Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Brothers Take podcast. I am Chris. I am joined by my brothers, Adam.
Hello.
And Eric.
Hello.
And we've got a fucking mega flare of an episode this week. Gaming is hot. Everyone who's into gaming is eating well lately. Eating really, really fucking well. We had two different showcases on the same day last week that we're going to be talking about. The Nintendo Direct and the PlayStation State of Play. This time last year, they did that as well. Did you know that? They had them on the exact same day.
At this time of the year?
Yeah. September last year, there was a State of Play and a Nintendo Direct on the same
Who announced
day.
first? Nintendo?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And do you know what? I reckon PlayStation anyway were like, well, we're not nervous. Like, we have a killer show for you guys. And there's so much to fucking talk about. And we'll also be getting some first impressions from Eric on Baldurs Gate 3. He's the only one of us that has been playing it, so make sure to stick around for that. But if you're jumping in anyway, if there's a certain part of the conversation that you're most interested in, we will have chapters in the description, so make sure to check out those timestamps and jump to the part of the conversation you're most interested in. Or if you stick around for the whole thing, we want to hear your thoughts too. If you guys watch this YouTube, jump down in the comments, share your thoughts on everything. We'll bring up all the fucking gaming announcements and news and everything that we're going to be talking about. And if you enjoyed this discussion, why not give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring that notification bell for all future content. And to those of you who are listening on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twixter at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on everything we bring up in this week's episode. But without any more fucking around, let's do it.
I think Chris is excited about something.
I must be excited about something.
I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what he's excited about.
Okay, the first...
Paper Mario.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well,
That's
actually,
amazing.
we're starting there, actually, because that was obviously of the two showcases that
Do you
were
know-
shown last week, that was on first, Nintendo
Yeah.
Direct.
But you know when I
Yeah.
sent you that message?
You
Right.
did.
Like, I wasn't arsing around. I meant it. Like,
No, I know you meant it, and I watched it anyway.
Right.
But-
I watched it anyway because I didn't know where to go to find what you were talking about. So I was like, I'm just going to watch this and see if I can guess what everyone was like nerding out about or something.
on Nintendo Direct?
Yeah.
Who was nerding about? Who was
That's what you
nerding
were
out?
saying. That's what your comment was saying, no?
My comment was, don't watch this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I got that part. Yeah.
There's Adam's review of the Nintendo Direct. Eric, what did you think of the Nintendo Direct? Actually, why did you watch it when Adam gave that warning? I have a different reason probably, but why did you watch it?
Because we were going to be talking about it.
Good reason. I agree. Yeah, exactly. And there might be something in there that I think is good. Now, there wasn't, but...
Like, I know used to, you know? And I
don't.
figured, like, what
I
you would dig, but...
I was
I thought-
also like 40 minutes, like, it's not a long time. Yeah, I was waiting. I got home from work. I was waiting around for the State of
That's
Play.
40
and I went,
extra
right,
minutes
I'll
of
watch-
Baldur's Gate for Eric, though.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's kind of where I was coming at, you know? It's like...
Eric,
Well, like, State of Play was what, about 30 minutes? And
Yeah.
that wasn't necessarily a waste of time. So,
yeah, but you were nearly not going to watch that one.
no, I was going to watch it. But then when you were like, when
You
you,
have
made
to
your
watch
comment,
Yeah, you have to
when
watch
you made
that
your comment, I was like, oh, well, I need to watch this now before I wake up and have
100%.
something spoiled on me.
100%.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
one. Yeah.
But
what
I mean,
did
if
you
you're,
think of the Nintendo Direct, Eric?
I think they liked Super Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they like Super Mario. I think they see him as like a big seller for their consoles.
I think he is.
Because there was like
I think
10
that's-
fucking games of just Super Mario.
Yeah.
There was loads. Nice that Peach got a game. That was cool. I was like,
I actually
that's,
thought it looked like a good game.
that looks fun.
If you're into that stuff,
Yeah.
like I think that one actually looked pretty good.
that trumpet game seems hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The one where it just sounds like everyone's farting.
Mhm.
They're not like they're playing everything, all these classical tunes.
You kind
I
of
was
want
like,
that in something like a Wii Sports style,
Yes.
like,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
group
yeah.
of games.
Yeah. But like, just looked entertaining. And then I thought that the Tomb Raider, if you're a big fan of Tomb Raider, that's pretty cool.
So that was my favorite reveal of the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Same. Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's sick. And even like the the updated graphics, I was like, that looks amazing. I was like, oh man, I hope that's not only on the Switch. So I checked and it's not. So we're all good.
Coming to everything.
The best thing for me from the Nintendo Direct is not a Nintendo exclusive. So it's all good. But all jokes aside, if you are a Mario fan, this was probably a fucking amazing showcase. Like, if Mario is your shit, this had fucking like 10 Mario games or something, like constant Mario. So there's definitely a world where this was not a bad showcase, but you have to be a Mario fan. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't think this had a lot to offer. And so in my case, I wasn't too excited by it. But if there's others out there who are saying I love that showcase, it's not that I'd be going, what, that was crap. I'd be like, oh, okay, you're a Mario fan then, obviously, because you have like so many Mario games coming out in the space of the next couple of months, like loads.
General consensus online for both of these events has been pretty mid, which I thought was shocking. Right, I checked out a couple of like ratings from, I think Jeff Keighley put out a rating, but then I seen someone on YouTube as well, where they just do the polls on YouTube, and both the events got like, the majority was like C grade, and people are like really confused as to why anyone is given any of these events like a high rating, which I was really shocked with when it comes to the state of play. Nintendo Direct one, I thought that was pretty poor, regardless of like the games that were being shown. I just think the way they demonstrate is not great.
Well, look, I'm not into the super like childish kind of way of talking, like, and now he has to do this. Isn't this so fun? You know, it's like, this is cringy.
It's an odd thing.
It's just speaking to a certain audience, obviously.
I would love that guy's job, though.
You what, Eric?
I'd love that guy's job. It's the easiest job. You get paid to just voice over. And now Super Mario's going to jump. And that's it. You get paid like $10 or something. Fucking brilliant.
What's weird is, like, there's this assumption that, like, Nintendo's for kids, right? And the way they present the types of games they make, right? But actually, the people getting excited for this shit is like our age.
Yeah, which is confusing.
Yeah, there's like this odd kind of, like, their fan base is actually people who think that children like this stuff, and I don't know whether they're like it's like they get in touch with their own childhood a little bit there, or they're in connection with their own kids. I don't know. I just kind of feel like the kids are probably like, I want to play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
No, but what I mean is there is an element of the getting in touch with your childhood. There's definitely
so like there's
like a lot of these people have grown up with Mario, so it's just every time they play a Mario game, they're like, this takes me right back to when I was in the schoolyard playing on the Game Boy Advance. And
so when I see that the Nintendo Direct and the way it's presented, I cannot help but think of the Everything Is Awesome song from Lego Movie. There's something really off about the whole thing. Yeah, like It's a Small World or some shit. You know, that kind of thing where it's just like,
what?
There's something evil going on.
Yeah, this is not right, man.
Yeah, it's like when you go into that, when you're playing like a horror game and you go into somewhere, it's like, this is really clean and nice. So clearly this is the most messed up part of the game.
100%. My favorite part of it was obviously the Tomb Raider trilogy, and I'm glad that that's coming out, and that's something to look forward to on everything anyway. I think the biggest problem with this Nintendo Direct was no Wind Waker, Twilight Princess.
Do you think they're hanging? Well, Twilight Princess is already.
Oh, I thought I heard someone saying that it wasn't.
No,
but anyway,
that
no
is.
Wind Waker. It's like, lads, what are you doing?
Do you think they're hanging on to that for Switch 2?
Well, and this is interesting. I did hear like some people online wondering, were we going to see the Switch 2 thing? And I'm like, no way, not yet. Like
that's next year, man.
Yeah, all the reports about that last week were like, you know, people were showing it. They were showing it to developers behind closed doors at Gamescom. They're not ready to show that to the public. That's next year. That's not, you know, because then people are like, oh my god, and Nintendo Direct right around the corner, and maybe it's like coming out this Christmas. No.
It might get showed before Christmas, but I'd reckon it's a next year launch.
Game Awards?
No, I think they would want to do their own thing on that.
Possibly
their own event.
Yeah, Nintendo seemed to really want to totally have control over their when they're showing stuff. But yeah, so maybe Wind Waker is that, or Wind Waker will be the very last game for the Switch. Like it's gotta be
think
the
about
very
it.
last.
Like it's like you either do like a major title to launch with Switch 2, or you do what everyone else is saying that they're going to do, which is the port of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And I just feel like as a launch title, it'd be more exciting, I think, for Wind Waker HD to sell that system.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. I'm just so surprised that it hasn't come to the current Switch.
It's surprising.
It's not going to happen.
Baffling.
Never going to happen.
Probably need to bring that and Twin Snakes. Please.
Somehow.
Please find a way to fight the powers that being. Get it.
I hope that that Tomb Raider trilogy has the OG soundtrack.
I'm sure it will.
I really hope it does.
Because like you can swap to the OG polygons, which was nice.
Yeah. I wonder if that means that you can switch between like a remastered soundtrack and the OG soundtrack.
That'd be nice.
That'd be cool. They're doing in a lot of remasters, and I think that's a really cool way of doing it. You know, like why not have both? Both is good. Both is always good. Like it's like, do you want Nintendo Direct or a State of Play? Both is good. Yeah. So why not have both? And by the sounds of it, we enjoyed the State of Play a lot more, right? It spoke to us more, and I do think it was a better showcase.
I was pretty shocked by how much people really thought this was a piss poor show. I actually think this is the best State of Play since the launch of the PS5.
Well, they just kind of got on with it, didn't they? They just
I don't know. On an objective level, I don't know. I remember like the one where they revealed Resident Evil 4 Remake and Tekken 8 at the I remember that one being really solid as well.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But this was the first time.
This was pretty good.
I think this is the first time since the reveal of Final Fantasy VII Remake on stage where I was kind of like watching thing going, "Oh my god, is this that?" And then it is that, and I'm like, oh my! Like I'm actually genuinely losing my shit while I'm watching this. Like this is I don't recall that actually me being like that since Final Fantasy VII on stage.
Well, good. So, Eric, you made a joke at the start about baby steps. The first game shown, pretty funny. Pretty funny. Yeah. I enjoyed that.
I laughed at that. That was funny.
That was funny. Weird way to start, I thought, but funny. Just sort of set the tone of like, I have no idea what to expect. I don't know where this is going. I haven't a clue. At first, though, I did think, okay, is this just going to be... And fair enough if it is, but is it just going to be like indie games? Because this is how we're starting. And if that is that grand, but I was like, I'm kind of hoping for something big, right? And even like from their blog was really like blasé, like, oh yeah, we have a State of Play on tomorrow, and there'll be a couple of indie games and a couple of third-party games. You know, it was really not. There was no hype. You know, and they tend to overhype. Usually, so I thought they managed expectations kind of quite well. Personally,
I think so too. Yeah.
You know what? I think some of the ratings or like where the bad reviews might be coming from is an awful lot of people were sharing fake leaks of what will be shown at the State of Play.
Oh,
totally fake.
So what was being leaked?
Like things like, oh, we're going to see an update on Stellar Blade, and like there was a whole list of other games that were not shown at it. So I think people maybe bought into that and were hyped about, oh, we're going to see this, and by not seeing it, I was like, you didn't even show this, you didn't show that. And it's like, because you've now been Rise of the Ronin was another one. It's like you've been reminded of those games that are out there.
All right,
and now that you haven't seen them, you're like, where is this game? You
know?
I
guess there's an element of like everything that was shown, apart from a few of the indies, I guess everyone's kind of aware of. They knew they were coming out. There's nothing here that is like a new announcement waiting to be. And I don't really care actually. I really liked that it was...
I don't give a shit.
Because everything that we've seen here has finally been gameplay. It's like, everything has been announced, but it was always like fucking CG trailers and shit. And now it's like actual gameplay, but we're close to the release date as well. Like that Tomb Raider in the Switch or Nintendo Direct, Like, that was enough to go, oh, I'm really, really interested in that, right? But then I saw that the release date is February next year. By the time that comes out, I'm not interested anymore. I'm more interested in, like, now. Just give it to me now. And a lot of what was shown at State of Play feels close. Like, it's hyping us up to it.
Right, because one of the earlier games shown, so, like, obviously it started with baby steps, then they did the VR Ghostbusters, and then they went into the VR mode for Resident Evil 4, right?
That's close enough to get me to fucking pick that shit
and they said this winter, and I was like, sick. But then they went elsewhere.
I know.
And I went, oh shit.
I know.
I went, oh shit. Separate Ways is coming out next week.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
September is fucking nuts for shit coming out, because I think it's coming out the same day as Phantom Liberty.
Oh,
nice.
The Cyberpunk one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, at least very close to it. Like, there is so
that looked like a movie.
The new trailer.
Yeah, the graphics to that is just insane.
Incredible.
Well, I've been playing a bunch of Starfield, so it looks unreal.
Right. It's like, yeah, for perspective, it's like, now that I've seen other things, I'm like, oh my god.
Which one looks like the Unreal? Resident Evil 4 remake or the...
No, the Cyberpunk. Like, Idris Elba. That looks like him.
Oh, well, that was a CG trailer.
Oh, okay.
Or that was live action, one or the other. That's not the actual graphics to the game.
It looked like it.
Right. Well, Resident 4 also
really
looked great.
Yes, yeah. This month is ridiculous for things.
Eric, how stoked are you for Separate Ways? I know you're probably the biggest Resi fan out of us.
I don't like when you say that, but yeah, I am.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
Yes. Pretty excited. Oh, and there was a new free Mercenaries update as well. That's like
coming out the same day, yeah.
Same day. I was like, that's awesome. And we all knew that Separate Ways was going to come, but it's still just one of those things, like any of the other things that were shown in State of Play that we got excited about. We knew it was coming, but you still just get excited because it's cool to play as Ada, and this version of Ada as well. It's a little bit
like, as you say, like, we knew it was coming, right? But it's not that showing it was the exciting thing. I was like, oh yeah, cool. Like, and I'm glad they're confirming it. So then I'm expecting maybe that's coming early next year or something. You know, maybe it's coming out on like the anniversary of Resident Evil 4 remake, because like, you know, they're working on it next week. What? It's dropping like that. Like, I had to double check the date. I was like, I read that wrong. That must have said October 21st, November 21st, maybe September 21st. Couldn't believe it. I'm like, can't wait. And I can't wait to find out if we were right about, there is, in the main game, there is an omission of a particular boss fight that is referenced but doesn't happen. And we theorized that boss fight will instead take place in Separate Ways. So that not all the Separate Ways boss fights are just basically rehashes of, you know. So I can't wait to see if that is in it and how have they reinterpreted it. I think that'll be fucking cool. But yeah, like, that's the second version of Resident Evil 4 in VR now as well. Yeah,
like
that's
true. That was an insane addition, like, update.
Is it only coming to VR too?
I think so, probably.
I don't know. I'm sure that'll come to PC, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you mean like
I just mean with the PlayStation VR? Like,
oh
is it
no,
only VR 2?
Yeah, just VR 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I love the moment when I think he's in the castle. You know, the area and like it's kind of a bit flooded, and you got to turn all the levers, and you got the guys constantly coming, and that really annoying part. You got Ashley.
Right.
You have to like raise the bridge. Yeah. And there's a moment in it where he's holding the two fucking broken butterfly revolvers, and he's like shooting and spinning, doing some ocelot stuff. And I was like, that looks entertaining as hell.
Yeah. The bit where I was like, that made me kind of sit up in my chair was the the blind guys with the claws.
Oh yeah.
Like, just seeing the scale of him, because that's the thing in VR, like, that people you don't realize is like just how large things are in reality. Like, going up against the guys with the bull's head in the village would just be absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know. Fucking hell.
Even just for the, I don't know if I would play through the whole game in VR, but even just the village section, I just think that would be nearly worth it. Like, as a cool kind of arcadey party experience.
What I hope they're doing is, because it's called VR mode, and if I remember correctly, they at one point announced that it would be a free update. So it's like if you have the VR2, you can play RE4 in VR.
Wow. Okay.
Now, maybe something's changed since then, but apparently, right?
Yeah.
And if that's true, I think it'd be really cool if on your save file you can choose. So like you can play a little bit of it in VR and then you can just continue in. Do you know what I mean? Now I don't know if that's possible.
Does 8 work that way?
I think 8 was done that way.
Well, 8 was you could.
Well, as in, I think it was the free update.
The
free
third
update,
person and the first person, but
yeah.
The VR mode is definitely separate.
That's 2 resis in VR now.
Yeah, no, it's 3, isn't it?
Well, I mean for VR2,
7 as well. Oh yeah.
You know,
you're thinking like
just
maybe the VR2 is
as a selling
now?
point. It's like growing library.
Yeah, the only thing is it's a growing library of you're experiencing them in a different way, but they're games you've already played. Like
that's okay.
Okay, fair enough.
I think that's okay.
This is the guy who, if Skyrim came to VR2, he would.
I'd get it immediately. Immediately,
there's no question. That would sell the VR2.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're fucking right. Obviously, not everything in the state of play would have stood out to us, right? There's a couple of different games, and obviously they appeal to very different gamers, whether you're someone who enjoys like Foam Stars or you're someone who enjoys Helldivers 2. You know, there's different games for different people. One that I suppose would be on our radar, I'm surprised they didn't spend more time on it, actually. I thought it would have been like Spider-Man 2, right?
Oh yeah, this was actually that's funny because this was the type of showcase that I've been waiting for of Spider-Man 2.
No, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I get what you mean, but I'm surprised that, and maybe there will be one more in the lead up. It wouldn't be unlike them to do a Spider-Man 2 specific state of play. Do you know what I mean? You know what to do those specific ones where it's like, here's a good 10-15 minutes.
But they did that already, didn't they?
With Spider-Man 2? I don't think so.
Yeah, they did the big long ass gameplay one.
At the end of the PlayStation Showcase in May, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
You're right there. But what I mean is doing what this was doing, which is talking about here's what you can expect from the game, but in a longer.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those.
Maybe they don't need to do it.
And I feel like with this state of play, they've been. I feel like they have been taking some criticism on board. They've been changing things up because one of the things I liked about this is, I actually thought the presenter was good. The way they were presenting felt genuine, felt less reading off of a script kind of thing, and to the point. It's not as if they're like trying to like, you know, that fake kind of hype you up shit. They're just like telling you, it's just matter of fact, here's a game that's coming out, you know. So I thought the format of it was probably the best state of play I've actually seen in terms of how it ran. The length of it is good. The games they've shown was good. What they focused on, I really, really liked. So one of the things I was mentioning to Pegum was that, like I was mentioning how I am not that hyped for Spider-Man 2 in the same way that everyone else is, because the things that they're showing are things that I'm already expecting and I want to see for myself for the first time, as opposed to like showing me the gameplay, right? I'm like, I kind of get that. What I wanted to see was what specifically about the PS5 makes Spider-Man 2 so special. Like, why is it, other than just being owned by Sony, why would I need a PS5 to play this game? And they kind of, you know, they held back a little bit because I'd love to see more of what it does. Like, but they were kind of demonstrating, you know, the speed of it and where that comes into play. And I was like, that's fucking mental. This is exactly what I wanted. And it was that day, it was just before it came on, I said, this is what I want to see, and they showed it to me.
I love as well, at the moment there are first impressions of Spider-Man 2 out from different media outlets and things. They're out now. People have gone and played 3 hours of the game. They're flown out to LA and stuff like that, and it's always nice to hear just glowing reviews across the board from people. So then you go, okay, cool. Because I mean, like, yeah, sometimes it's like, no, they fucked the sequel and this is just nonsense, you know. I mean, the biggest criticism that I've heard, which it depends on who you are if it's criticism or not, is it's just more Spider-Man. Right? So if you didn't like I heard someone say, if you didn't like Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales, this one won't change your mind. Like, it's not. Yeah. It's more of it.
Yeah.
But it's faster and it looks better and it performs better and there's more gameplay, there's more to do. But it's still Spider-Man. Like, it's not like they haven't reinvented the wheel or anything. But yeah, I'm stoked. I'm fucking stoked for this game. I can't wait. Not in that way, like you're saying. I'm not like losing sleep over it. If someone announced tomorrow that Spider-Man 2 gets delayed and it's going to be a little bit longer, I can wait. Like, I can wait. That's okay. But when it comes out, I'll automatically get it.
Yeah,
so
this
where I'm at.
This has hyped me up for it, just because of what they decided to focus on. It really spoke to me.
Eric, as someone who jumped into Spider-Man a bit later than us, because I remember you tried the first one a couple of times and it actually didn't gel with you.
No.
Like, have you any hype for Spider-Man 2, or where are you at with it?
I can wait for it.
Mm-hmm.
I might get it the day it comes out. I might not. I'm not actually 100% sure on that. It's kind of actually, to be honest, at this point, they've shown. It's like it almost feels like, I know they haven't done it, but it almost feels like at every state of play since May, here's Spider-Man 2, here's Spider-Man 2, here's Spider-Man 2. So I'm a bit like,
there's an overexposure of it.
Overexposure, yeah, kind of moment. So I'm a bit like, I'm okay.
I was like that with Mortal Kombat 1, right? And then it was up until this final trailer. I was like, I don't know, there's just something about the way that was done. I was more, maybe it's like it feels almost more complete, or they're more confident in the product or something, the way they present it.
Right. But like now they've been holding back before that, and now here they're letting it all out.
Yeah, like now I'm looking forward to Mortal Kombat 1. You know,
it's so interesting on the Spider-Man 2 thing, because I actually feel like they've kind of undersold it, in that I haven't seen it everywhere, and I feel like the approach has kind of been, well, it's Spider-Man 2, it'll sell itself. Like, we don't have to show you anything.
Well, it's kind of been hyped since.
But that's just me.
The release of the PS5, like it's like been that many years of it being in our face a little bit. I feel.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't feel that. Like they announced it, and then
I have no doubt.
A trailer, and
I have no doubt it's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
Definitely, probably will get. I don't see this thing. Like, might be around the corner. I'll go. Sure, I might as well pre-order it. Sure, might as well have it add it to my collection, whether I play it or not. Like, I'd be like,
you might want to get all 19 inches of Venom. Like,
maybe not.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
What? This 19 inches?
Right. The collector's edition of Spider-Man 2 has a big statue of Venom and Peter and Miles fighting him, and right, looks cool. Whatever. And I think it was the PlayStation UK site. The way they phrased it was like, get 19 inches of Venom. As opposed to like, get a 19-inch statue of Venom. They said, get 19 inches of Venom. And it was reshared on Twixter all over the fucking place. Like, everyone was just like, what the fuck? You can't say it like that. So, yeah, that trended. Getting 19 inches of Venom. Yeah.
Less than half of what I hoped for.
But cool. Let us know your hype levels, guys, for Spider-Man 2. What do you hope to see in the game that they haven't yet shown or revealed? Was there anything else in particular from the state of play before we get to the final part of it?
I thought I was pretty impressed with Avatar.
I was thinking you were going to say that, yeah.
But like, I'm still like really questioning the thing, right? But you know, when we were like saying, oh, it's kind of a mistake for this to be first person, and I still kind of feel that to some degree. But when I saw this, I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. It's Far Cry with an Avatar skin.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that's what it seems to be.
That's the gameplay.
That's what Ubisoft are doing, all right?
Yeah, and that actually kind of makes sense because it's less risky. You already have kind of a game engine that works for it. I think it actually, the way you engage with the environment in Far Cry and the locations makes sense in the context of this world, and it actually looks pretty. Like, the graphically, it's really, really impressive. There's some cool stuff in there, so it's definitely one I'm gonna be like, just keeping an eye out on. I think this could be the worst thing ever, or it could be a pleasant surprise. But I thought the showcase was impressive.
I thought it looked beautiful. I thought the graphics were amazing. It's not one
just like the movies.
Yeah. It's like, and it looks very immersive. It's not one that I'm particularly like excited for on a personal level, but at the same time, I would rather play this than watch another movie. I think. Because even watching the second movie, I was like, I would so rather play this. Like, this looks beautiful. I'd love to run around and explore in this world.
Yeah.
But my God, the way you're presenting this is so boring, right? Yeah. And that's just me. I'm not saying if you like Avatar 2, cool, great. But yeah, so like I'd rather play the game actually. But I'm also not like, oh, I can't wait for that game. It's just a case of like, well, if I end up playing it, great.
To me, it was Horizon, but in first person.
Elements of that for sure.
It's kind of very tribalistic nature. You're fighting machines. You ride around on the mounts, or like you hack and take over the horses or the dragons, like, and you climb up.
Yeah, but that is Avatar, though, isn't it?
I think you've highlighted a parallel. Then did Horizon take from Avatar?
Possibly,
maybe. It's not either way I ever thought before, but now I am.
But no, I do. I think story-wise, I like the idea that your character was kidnapped, trained, and then you're sent back. And so I thought story presentation was very good, graphically was very good. But yeah, it's Ubisoft. They're absolute masters of presenting a game and making a game look awesome.
Well, there's no doubt that and they generally, like, Ubisoft games are really fun to play, but there's just something about them that just never quite hit the highs that you would want from them. So I would expect that this will be a really fun experience. But I guess it's only the only thing that pulls it back is the fact that it's the IP, right? I mean, it's kind of a tainted IP a little bit. Some people like absolutely love it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's something about Avatar. Like, there's like, if someone said they like Avatar, it almost feels a little like you don't want to wear that on your shirt or anything like that.
Oh,
right?
That's terrible.
I
Guys,
know.
If you like, it's okay. If you like Avatar, that's okay. It's absolutely not the worst thing out there.
No, it's actually not like
impressively well made and stuff. I found the second one really boring.
No, but I'm even let's pretend the second one never came out, right? Just the first one. Just the first one. There is a little bit of a I there's definitely a jeering that goes towards people that enjoyed that movie, let's just say.
Well, at first it did really well, right? I mean, it was like the highest grossing movie when it came out. Like, people loved Avatar. But is it just like over time when people like pointed out its clear influences that people are like, oh my God, there's not an original idea in that movie, you know?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's like what you like is just derivative of things.
I guess so.
But it's fucking beautiful.
They also use papyrus for their writing.
I love that SNL sketch.
Yeah, it's good.
It's my favorite.
If you haven't seen that, guys, check out the SNL sketch Papyrus with Ryan Gosling. It's very funny.
That's amazing.
Any of the other games, Eric, stand out to you?
I actually thought the present, not that I gave a shit about them, but the kind of earthy presentation of the 3 new consoles. They're not new consoles, but new colorations.
The silver one looks awesome.
Yeah, like I thought that presentation was very cool. It was very, very kind of, ooh, this is exciting. What's this? And then it's just like, oh, get it in red, blue, and silver. It's like, I couldn't give a shit, but your presentation was cool.
I think that's the right place
silver
to
one
put
is nice
too.
What do you mean?
I think that's the right way to advertise these things is in something like a state of play. It's always
throw them in there into the middle. Yeah,
because sometimes you get these type of reveals at something like the Game Awards or something like that. It feels a bit like, I don't know. Those shows feel larger than just a skin change for a console. Right. I think these events are the right spot for them.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it looked cool. The visuals were cool as well. The way it was presented, as Eric was saying. But just to segue on to the next thing, Cloud on a segue. What the fuck? Cloud on a Segway in Costa del Sol. Okay. Holy shit. We have to talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
No, we don't. We'll move on.
We have a release date. There's so much in the there's so much.
Yeah, I couldn't. That was the biggest surprise to me, was just how much was in it. Like I was kind of going, oh my god! Like every time something was shown, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, and
oh my god,
and then they showed Vincent, and he's fucking badass.
But they haven't really shown him, have they? Like they kind of showed him, but they didn't really show him. Right?
He spoke, though, right?
Yeah, he spoke. Yeah. Oh, he spoke. I've watched the trailer about 10 times. I've watched it about 10 times.
Twice.
Yeah. I've been trying to dissect everything.
All right, I just seen it once. I
watched the shit out of that fucking trailer. Like, there's just so much in it, and I'm not even sure if it's a good trailer. Like, it's an amazing trailer if you know what they're showing.
Yeah,
right?
I was.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, if you only played 7 Remake, you must be just like.
Yeah, because there was
literally what the fuck is happening.
There was a trailer, I think, not long before it, and it was like not Genshin, but kind of similar. That kind of, right. Yeah, and
like with context, maybe that trailer is incredible.
Yeah, because I was taking the piss out of it when Pagan was watching it with me. Right. And then Final Fantasy comes on, I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. And she's just like, what is going on?
This is nonsense.
Yeah.
Guys, I never thought I'd say it, right? And I can't wait to find out how his name is pronounced. But Kate Sit looks great.
Yeah. Well, looks, I don't know how they're going to pull that off, but it looks like they did it.
It looks to me like in gameplay, in the battle sequences. So you know the way like all the characters have like 2 stances? You push triangle and it switches between different stances?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like with Kate Sit, he's either as the cat and his attacks are faster, or he's on the Mog and it's like slow and strong. That's what it kind of looked like in that moment, because there was a moment where he was like fighting and it was just him, and then the Mog flashed in, and it wasn't there before that. I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. I never thought I'd say that. Do you know what? I lost my the boogie.
Oh yeah!
The desert blew my mind. I don't know why. Like, they told us they were doing everything. We should have just believed them. But for some reason, I thought they weren't going to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff where you kind of think, you kind of expect them to cut out and or you say, like, because now there's that thing, like they said in their blog post, right? It's like, maybe we set the bar too high for the third one. That's like, I think you fucking did. Like, everything's
so
in this.
Much in this. Like, do you actually fly the high wind in the third one? Then do you actually fly it around?
Did you see Red 13 flying a chocobo?
No.
Yeah, he
funny image.
Red 13 rides a chocobo.
Yeah.
Why? He has legs. He has paws.
He gets tired too, okay? I don't know why, but it makes me fully believe does that mean he's going to stand up on his hind legs in a sailor suit?
Oh my god, they'll
or the soldier
you know what?
suit
I'm
on
actually
the boat?
At this point, I'd be shocked if they don't put that in.
Right. Yeah, it'll be like, what the fuck? But anyway, all joking aside, game of the year already. Just give it to us. Don't fuck around. Like, oh my god, there's so much in it. It's incredible. So yeah, obviously we're nerding out a bit. I can't wait. I just can't wait for February 29th next year.
Yeah, I like when you talk about it, Chris. You get me excited because you're just.
That's weird.
Were you not excited about the Were you not excited about?
Well, I suppose. First of all, your comment was, "I can't wait for February." And I was like, "Well, that's obviously Final Fantasy VII Rebirth."
It could have been anything, but okay.
It sure as shit was. A part of me was a little bit like, imagine it was Infinity Blade.
Oh my god!
Anyway,
one day I hope that happens for you. That I really do.
That'd be so good. That'd be so good, so funny.
It's actually not even a good game.
You shut your fucking mouth. You shut
your fucking lying trap there. Incredible. Anyway, yeah. So then when I was watching, I suppose I was quite tired as well, just kind of sticking around to watch it. So when I was watching it the first time, I was like, "What is going on?" So I had to watch it a second time to be like, Oh my God. Like I saw everything, but it was only the second time was I really taking in the buggy. The fact that Cloud is wall running with a fucking chocobo. Like, they're just horizontally running up.
Right. Which is all like what that language tells you. If you know the original, you're like, okay, certain chocobos can do certain things and reach certain areas. Great. There will be chocobo breathing. In part 3, you will have to get the Knights of the Round with a gold chocobo.
Yeah.
They're doing it. It's happening.
So obviously, because there were certain chocobo that could climb over mountains.
Yeah.
Which is what they're doing here with that's why they instead of like climbing all the time, there'll be like a gliding kind of mechanic too.
No, well, I think that's 2 different abilities on 2 different chocobos.
Oh, okay.
Do you get me? So the blue one can glide, the brown one can climb mountains. So there'll be areas throughout the game out of reach, and you will need certain chocobos to explore.
But doesn't the blue one walk on water?
I'm not saying that they're being truthful to the original in that regard, but I don't think that chocobo can do all those things.
Are they going to walk on water or? Like,
not until or be
like a
tree.
Or is it going to be like a duck where it like
oh my God, that'd be amazing. You could just go across the ocean. Oh my God, yes.
I would imagine that they would stay pretty faithful to what the different chocobos could do.
Right. Yeah, probably at this point.
Because, even when you look at the the golden saucer, like they have the polygon boxing in it was like that's there.
The mini games look incredible.
The chocobo racing, they have the buggy in it. Fort Condor is probably going to come back. All the different summons. I was like, holy shit! There's Alexander. There's Kujata. There's Odin. Leviathan popping out. I was like,
yeah, I thought that too. It's not Leviathan.
No, it's not actually. As I said, I was like, that's not. It's Genova.
No, it's not Genova.
What?
No.
It's the other thingy.
It's the monster with the tidal wave ability.
Yes.
That attacked Priscilla.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's the before you do the dolphin thing.
Yeah. And where you get Leviathan. That's where you get Leviathan, isn't it?
Was Emerald Weapon shown in this?
I don't think so. Oh, maybe you do. Was Emerald Weapon shown? A weapon was shown.
Yeah.
Which I was really surprised at.
Yeah, because it looked like they were underwater.
I also think you were at Mediel, which I was also really surprised at. Cloud's talking to a scientist dude.
Yeah.
He's talking about all the guys in the black robes, and there's all like green sheets everywhere. It looks like the clinic on Mediel, and I'm like, how is he getting there though? What the fuck?
With the blue chocobo, he swims across.
Yeah, of course. Now they have said that while everything from the original is being maintained, it's not going to play out in the order that you expect.
Okay.
So they are moving things around. So like just because Tifa says what is that and that's a weapon doesn't mean they're up in the Northern Crater at that point, or doesn't mean that that game goes that far.
She does talk. Maybe they're in the live stream at that point. They're floating in the live stream because she does talk.
Maybe. I just feel like that's a part 3 thing though. But maybe.
I thought the cannon firing was a part 3 thing, but hey, that's the first.
That's just a demonstration. That's just a demonstration.
I know it's a demonstration, but did they demonstrate it firing in when you first go to Junon?
No,
they didn't.
No, so that's new.
Yeah,
that is new.
And you do the parade thing. You get in the armor and you do the parade thing in Junon.
Yeah, you do. Oh my God.
The segue thing blew my fucking mind though. Like that was so cool.
Well, it's just like there's just gonna
there's all these cool big battles. The summons are doing all their moves. Fucking segue. Yeah. Cloud in some shorts. Like that's Cloud as a teenager, I think. I think that's teenage Cloud in Costa del Sol on a Segway. Well, he wasn't wearing his normal clothes. And he didn't have the sword. I thought it looked like a younger Cloud.
What if there's outfit changes? But like, I mean, there is some outfit changes when they go to Costa del Sol anyway.
I thought it was just them chilling out in Costa del Sol.
Yeah.
I thought it was just them.
I hope you do get
to have a bit of a beach time.
Yeah, I hope there's like activities to do there, because that's actually one of the areas that I am actually really looking forward to exploring, because there's not many areas that are nice looking in Final Fantasy VII.
I heard a comment from someone else, and I was like, how is this something that I've never heard of? So I don't know if it's true, and I've never done it. Apparently, in the OG game, you can buy a house in Costa del Sol.
Really?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I have no idea. Someone tell us if that's true. Apparently, in like the end game, like the late game stuff, when you're going around the world and doing different things, you can go back to Costa del Sol, and apparently you can buy a house there. And maybe we don't know because it never seems like there's a good reason to go back to Costa del Sol because all you can do is kick that little ball on the beach. But how fucking sick would it be, right? As nothing more than just a little wink, right? There's a blitz ball on the beach.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Just for that little, like in Remake, there was Shinra in the picture frame. So yeah, what if there was like a blitz ball on the beach?
I think it'd be very nice if they started to include things from all the other Final Fantasies. So like a blitz ball, or like, I don't know, like the fucking Squall's gun sword or something. Maybe like
that's just hanging up somewhere.
Yeah, that's just hanging up on the wall.
In the background, right?
Or like whatever the name of Zidane's like traveling circus troupe is from 9. That's like going around.
Tantalus, I think it was called Tantalus.
That could be like performing in Costa or in the Golden Saucer. Yeah, things like that would be really nice.
At this point, though, it's like you'd nearly need to cram them all into this game. Because they didn't get a chance to do it in the first one.
Yeah, I mean, now it seems like, and I love the first one, but it seems like the first one was just like a tech demo.
But even like, I mean,
this game,
because they really stretched out that first one.
Yeah, they did. I feel like I think the pacing for a game will be better this time around. Because I feel like nothing needs to be like padded out. Like, yes, there'll be lots of side content and stuff, but to make it a full game, they don't have to, because there is plenty of story to tell anyway. That actually, the shocking thing is they're really doing all that. Like, it's not a how are you going to fill the time? It's actually like, well,
it's open. It's kind of open world, right? It's not like
I think
it seems to be.
Yeah, it's not zones or anything. That's mental.
Which we all thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, to some extent, it must be zones, right? Like, it's like, when it first starts, you obviously just can't go across the sea to Nibelheim.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to do it.
You gotta go by boat.
Like, even right now, they can zone it out, right? Where you'd have, like, an open worldish area, but it's, like, a massive zone.
Yeah.
And they can do that, because technically the original game was like that. It only really opens out once you get the High Wind or Gold Chocobo. Like, I don't know how they're going to fucking do that.
Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it? But they seem to be, like, managing. I don't know how they're managing, but they seem to be managing. There was I read in the developer interviews and stuff like that, there was a question about, which is something that we've all wondered since finishing the first one, will anything carry over? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So they cleared that up. They were like, well, each game is its own installment. Mm-hmm. So... like, we'll level it out, obviously, but, it has to be its own game. However, there will be some bonuses for those who have played the previous title. And they have come out and said that if you have a save file for the PS5 version of Final Fantasy VII Remake, you will start off with Ramu and Leviathan as summons.
All right, okay.
And I think there will be some equipment too, but obviously not everything. But you will start off with those two.
Okay.
That's weird you don't start off with Ifrit, considering I'm pretty sure Ifrit is the first one you get.
Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe it's story related. I'm sure you will get Ifrit.
Look, they must be doing the whole thing of like Yuffie steals your shit, and then when you get her back or something, it's like
she has those two.
Yeah, but the others have been robbed off her, or they've been scattered as part of a quest to like.
Or she sold them.
Regain your shit. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
She sold them on, like,
which is not a bad way to do it. It's like,
which would be interesting, right? Because in she had Ramu, so that's that one, and she would keep Leviathan because Leviathan is connected to Wutai.
Oh well, then that's it, isn't it? Like, I mean, that's it. Like, you get those summons because you have her in your party, and she's sold all your shit.
Makes sense. I think so.
That's a good way to do it.
I also think from this trailer that you will play as Sephiroth.
Oh yeah,
looks like it. Absolutely.
Looks like you're gonna shift him.
He's so beautiful.
Like that one shot was a bit like, dude, what are you looking at?
yeah. It was a bit odd, all right. It was like, why are you freeze framing there at that moment? Yeah. That's odd. But yeah, are we starting with the flashback then?
Probably.
Yeah, I think so. It looked like as well the two of them were fighting the Materia Keeper, which is a boss that you fight in Nibelheim when you sorry, Eric's just like, you fucking nerd. But when you go there, like in the main timeline, like not flashback, Cloud and the party fight that boss. But it looks like they've moved that boss, and that Cloud and Sephiroth will fight it in the flashback instead. That's what it looked like anyway. So I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Like it goes to show that they're still. That's what they mean by when they're incorporating things, but it might not happen in the order that you remember, which is cool because then it's like, oh, it's everything I remember, but it's just I didn't expect it yet, so it's going to surprise me.
I'm very intrigued and surprised and very wondering. The thing that makes me question the most is the Zack timeline.
Of course,
yeah,
because that's still not completely quite sure on that. Completely new territory. Is that going to work? Is that going to be too much, or what's going on there? What's the story?
It's surely going to work Laguna style, which I know a lot of people have said before. Laguna in Final Fantasy VIII, there's points where Squall goes asleep, and then you play as this other character, Laguna, in small chapters, and then it goes back to Squall. The bulk of your game is Squall, but every so often you're playing as this Laguna character in a separate story that you're like, what is this, and where is it going? And eventually it culminates in something. I imagine that's what they're going to do here. It's not going to be like huge, massive chunks of Zack, but more so like Zack will every so often have like a little chapter at game. Because I don't think it'll be just cutscenes. I imagine you'll actually play as Zack. Or that's what it looks like anyway.
Yeah, I'd imagine so, yeah.
But yeah, did you guys notice anything special about the date? February 29th?
02292024.
I don't know what you're talking about.
February is the second.
Okay, so February normally has 28 days. Next year is a leap year, so they specifically chose the extra day of the year to launch it, which I think is kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
That's all. It just makes it a bit of like a landmark day of like.
I thought it was like gonna be some shit where it's like there's like
that date, dirty, man.
That date has a huge significance with that particular game or something like that, but therefore like because it's a leap year, like this would be the only opportunity to actually release it to match up with that date that's in the fucking game.
I hear you.
Be like, wow, you know.
Well, I think it would be really cool if they can manage it, and it looks like time, like with how quickly they got this game made, that they could do it. I think if Part 3 could come out in 2027, because that's the 30th anniversary of the original game. That would be cool.
That's a long way away, man.
Yeah, are you willing to wait that long, Chris?
It's not really when you think about it. So after 2024 to 2027, that's only 3 years to finish.
Yeah. Are you willing to wait that long, Chris? 3 years?
Yes, I am, because they'll do an Intergrade style thing in between where you play as Vincent, obviously. So it'll be fine.
Will they?
Loads of content.
Are you sure?
Is that Vincent one going to be basically like
Dirge
service, or is it?
Yeah, probably. I am a bit curious if we will. You know, like when you get towards the end of Remake, obviously you can't play as Red 13. And depending on where they introduce both Vincent and Sid, we've seen all the other characters in combat. I'm curious, will there be enough time with them to make them fully fleshed characters that level up and you can do that with? Or will they only tag along and then they become playable in the final game where everyone is playable? I don't know.
Well, I feel like Vincent, you should get enough time. Sid, not so much, but with Vincent, you should get enough time with him.
So it's possible that Sid won't be playable this time, maybe.
Probably, because it sounds like
in the next one.
It ends at the capital, right?
So they're saying.
That's what, yeah. So that's a decent chunk with Vincent. If you're not rushing towards the end, you could really flesh him out.
And depending on, like, if they're saying they're reworking the events, like, if it was a case of, like, when they get over to the next continent, it's like, right, how are we going to find Sephiroth? Well, let's retrace the footsteps. Let's start in Nibelheim. Like, they could go to Nibelheim a little bit earlier and get Vincent into the party earlier, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll see. Anything else on Rebirth for now before we move on? I could talk about this forever. This is my favorite topic. I just love it.
It looks incredible. Like, everything about I think the start of that trailer was a bit chaotic, but it started to like have a decent enough pace as it went through.
I found a rhythm.
But the amount of shit that was in it, where I was like, I can't believe they have all of that in it. And I know, like, Final Fantasy games in general are quite large. They do tend to have a lot of things, but just given the development time they had, and it's games like 7 tend to be like fairly straightforward. So it's a fairly big world, but when you try to think about how to reimagine that for the modern era, it is quite straightforward. But here they're adding like so much shit outside of what's in the actual OG game. Even I just can't believe the amount is in it.
Yeah. I take, like, my big takeaway from the trailer was not only just like, yeah, okay, I recognize that and I see that, and oh, there's the Midgar Zolom, oh my god, you know, like, it's not just all that stuff, but it is also just, when you look at what the messaging is, okay, this game, it's got mini games, it's got summons, it's got world travel, it's got story, it's, you know, it's more so this trailer was to give you nearly an overview of here's what you can expect from the game. We've already done all the cryptic weird trailers where it's like, who is Tifa? What is this? Am I alive? What's real? You know, they've already done that. So now it was just well, here's what you can actually expect in terms of like gameplay, what you can do, riding around on chocobos, you know, getting around the world, traveling the world. Like, this is what the game will look like.
And without spoiling anything too. Like, it's not like,
oh, it's right. You're still lost. Like.
Yeah, even though you see things, you're like, I'm not sure where that is in the context. I have to play this to find out.
Well, it's like how I think when I watched it, I was like, "That's a nuts trailer." It's like it's like Kojima or something. Because even when Kojima showed gameplay, you're still just like, "Okay, I don't know what this game's about." Though, like there was like 50 there's 50 trailers for that game, and you're just like, I am more confused.
Yeah.
But like I'm talking about Death Stranding, like it was like 50 trailers of Death Stranding, and every time you show a trailer, like I am more confused.
Yes,
I am now. Yeah. So this one is like intrigued. It's exciting. It's big. I'm going to use all those words that like people use on contestant shows, judges and stuff. But yeah, where is it all following? What's going on? Really?
Well, we will be finding out. I actually thought this game wouldn't release till maybe March or April, so it's a bit sooner than that.
They said winter.
I know they did, but they're talking about the fiscal... I'm not having this conversation again. How many times have I told you that's their fiscal year? They're on a different calendar to us, okay?
You made that word up, fiscal.
Was I wrong when I said God of War Ragnarok wouldn't come out the year they said? Was I wrong when I said that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth would not come out this year? That it would be early next year before they said it?
Yeah, but it's still not winter. I told you. February is the first month, spring.
December, January, and February are winter.
When? Where? When?
How the Gregorian calendar works.
All right. This is how it goes. Okay.
Right.
Spring is March, April, May.
What? When? Where?
Summer is June, July, August.
Get the fuck out of here.
Look at the fucking climate. Right.
That depends on where you are.
Autumn, September, October, November.
That's a fucking lie.
Winter, December, January, February. What are the coldest months of the year?
Chris, that depends on where you fucking live, man.
In fucking Greenland, it's everywhere.
I don't give a fuck what it's like in Ireland.
It's the coldest months.
In Ireland,
let's move across from this.
They're not from Ireland. They're from Japan.
Anyway, yeah. regardless of whether we think it's winter or not, it can't come soon enough. Game of the fucking year. Well, speaking of Game of the Year, will Baldur's Gate 3 be the Game of the Year this year, or even a contender? Eric is the only one who has played it out of us. And we're going to get his first impressions now. But obviously on the showcases and everything we talked about there before, make sure you get in touch. Share your thoughts, your theories, your hype levels, and all that stuff. And if you guys are playing Baldur's Gate 3, please get in touch to tell us what your experience of the game is so far. Obviously, it had huge hype on PC, and it has now come to PS5, and people are playing it on PS5. Eric, what do you think of Baldur's Gate 3 so far?
It's fucking incredible. It's ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous. It's the opening cinema, because I think Adam was telling me that Starfield starts really bad. I think I was playing Baldur's Gate 3. Adam popped up for a bit. He popped his head in. I was talking to an owlbear when he popped his head in, and you were telling me that
Starfield, it's a normal day, right?
A normal day. I walked into a cave. I stumbled across an owlbear, and I had a conversation with him. As you do.
Excellent.
And Adam was telling me Starfield doesn't start off great. Baldur's Gate 3 starts off amazing. It's actually the cinematic. It is the CGI trailer, but there's a CGI opening cutscene, but it's an awesome cutscene. And then it gets into your prologue kind of gameplay, and you're trying to escape from this mind flayer ship as it then crashes down, and then the map opens up. Okay, and now you get to wander around, and the graphics are fucking just amazing. I think again, Adam looked and he was like, "That looks like something on PC." Yes, it does. And usually when a game ports from PC to console, it tends to be very buggy, very laggy, doesn't work properly. No, this works fine. It's like, yeah, it might freeze for a moment to autosave, which is again expected, but other than that, it's fine. The graphics are good. They're amazing, to be honest. The music's really good as well. If you don't like turn-based combat, don't play this game. But other than that,
right.
If you like turn-based combat, it's got it, and it's really damn good. It's super faithful to D&D. Really, really ridiculously faithful to D&D and how it plays and everything. Character creation was unreal. Was nuts. Just ridiculous detail.
I think we got your message about that as we were talking about Starfield in the last episode. I think it got a little shout out at the end of the episode, which is just like Eric just messaged saying the character customization is crazy or something like that.
Yeah. It's actually nuts, and the voice acting is really good. Your companions are really endearing, awesome characters. I've actually already romanced one of them, which is very surprising. I've like played about 8 hours of the game. I've already got a romance.
So you barely started the game, really?
Oh, absolutely, because the first area just keeps opening up and opening up and opening up and opening. I'm like, oh my god, how big is this area? And every time I talk to someone, they give me a quest, and I'm like, I have to stop talking to people. It's ridiculous.
To be honest, you haven't got time for any other games this year, then?
No. To be honest, no. I'm still on Act 1, and I was told Act 1 is the most non-linear. So if you are starting a game,
right,
Act 1 is the most sandbox. You just go around, you're just exploring all these different areas, and you're just kind of getting a feel for the game and what you can and can't do, and you're just making yourself and your party better. But every single person has a name, and every single person you can have dialogue with.
Wow.
So it's not like Skyrim, where you go up to the guard and he goes, "Oh, I once got my sweet roll stolen," and that's it, and he walks on. Like everyone, you can actually, it stops and there's dialogue options. Some obviously more than others, and again, nearly every time I talk to someone, it's like, "Oh, you got to do this mission." I'm like, "What? How do I do that mission? Why is that mission contradicting with that mission?" And like there's like 5 different ways of doing one quest sometimes, and it's just like, this is overwhelmingly awesome. Because I don't know which one's the best thing to do.
They must have recorded so much fucking dialogue for this game. Like,
yes, absolutely,
an insane amount. If there's that much people, and they're all voice acted, right? Like, is any of it? You know, some games have like, oh, the main characters are voice based, but then any side characters are like text based. Like some games do that.
So
is anything like that?
Your character in actual dialogue moments doesn't speak, but
okay,
the when you click the option, the character you're talking to answers pretty much straight away. So they're still fluid. It doesn't have that awkward little pause. You know, when you click on an option and your character's kind of just standing there and then the other person answers, and it's really, it just fluidly happens. And the voice acting is so good that, again, it just works.
Right.
You don't have to mind about that. Your character's facial reactions to what's going on as well is great. But sometimes when you are walking around, your character will speak. So your character does have a voice.
Okay.
That you choose at the start of the game.
Right. So there's like little prompts and things. Like, would they talk in battle, or is it more just walking around? Or
it might be things like walking around, like, oh, I smell smoke. Like, actually, before we came on, I was playing a bit, and my character was like, oh, I smell smoke, and then I went up, and this inn was on fire, and there was a load of people that were dead. But I was like, and then I did that, and another quest started, and I was like, stop, stop!
I don't have time for this.
Is this a game? Do you think that you're in now? This is it. You're going to play it till completion, or is it one of those games that you'll duck out and you'll duck back into? Like, is it like that gripping that you have to see to come to completion, or are the quests kind of like, I'll just hop on, maybe do one and fuck off and play something else for a bit?
At the moment, I'm very gripped and sucked in that I'm just going to be playing this and playing this and playing this. But then, you know what I mean, separate ways might come out, and I might decide then to play a bit of separate ways, and then I jump back into, because that'll be shorter than Baldur's Gate 3.
For sure. You'll clear separate ways 6 times in one afternoon, probably.
Yeah.
Because we were discussing that last week with Starfield. We were saying how this is one of those games where it's like almost like a reliable game that you can kind of just jump back in. It's like you've got nothing to do. There's maybe it's like next summer. There's maybe nothing coming out for a couple of months. You can always just hop in. At least there's you're going to find some sort of entertainment in that. But it's not one where we're like, I have to complete this now this week or anything like that. I'm just wondering, has it got that kind of a appeal, or is it more like, this is I want to know what the fuck was happening over there, and like the main quest, let's say, is that so engaging that you need to see the end?
At the moment, the main quest is something that's small enough to keep you going, but not big enough to take you away from helping everyone else. So at the moment, my main motivation is to help this grove, where I'm playing as a tiefling. They're like these horned devil-looking people, and a bunch of my people are in this grove, but the druids want to kick them out because they're racist against tieflings. So I kind of now have that personal connection. So therefore, I'm connected to the story to help them, which has then forced me to this goblin camp, which then turns out this goblin camp is then connected to my personal issue.
Mm-hmm.
So then everything is getting intertwined. And as I'm going along, it starts to open up. And then as I'm progressing and as I'm finding my other companions, they might mention something that then links to a story I'm already doing, or one of the characters, they were hunting down somebody, and it turned out the person they were hunting down is a companion to recruit. But because I recruited them, there was a dire consequence to the fact that my other companion didn't kill that companion. So like every time you go back to your camp, which is like your Normandy base, random moments might end up happening that will like start to kind of unravel your companion stories and stuff. So there's nearly never like a break. There's always just this another cool, interesting thing that happens that I think because it has cinematics, it engages you that bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So then you kind of keep going, and there's kind of always find something new to keep you going. And again, if you just go into some random cave or random dungeon, you end up going to this whole new quest. You might get some new items, or you recruit a new character, or who knows what might fucking happen. But it just constantly has that explorative, that need to explore, because it might be very vital to you or one of your characters or something else.
And how is the combat? I was curious about that. I know you said it's turn based, and that and you said it's really good, but like, because I still haven't actually like seen the combat to the game, right? And every time people talk about it, they talk about the story and their interactions and all the experience, and everything they say, I'm like, that sounds amazing, I'm on board, sounds great. But like, how actually is the combat? And is it a case where it's like the combat's fine and I just get through it so that I can get to the next moment or experience or quest that I'm really playing for? Or is it like, oh, actually, great, an encounter. I love these, or you know what I mean?
So the encounters, the combat in itself is not like Uncharted or Last of Us super exciting stuff, but again, still offers that value of playground that the open world is providing. In that you can, if you go up on the high ground, well, now you have the high ground and it's over for your enemy.
Right.
That you have advantage, or you make your rogues be stealthy so they have advantage. Maybe you provide buffs and debuffs, and you can use the environment to your advantage. So even within the combat in itself, you have this whole area to move your characters around. They have a certain amount of distance to move, so it'd be like the equivalent of chess, let's say, or something. Not that it's on a grid format like it is in the open area. And then you have your all the different abilities and spells and stuff that you can choose from, like Final Fantasy then.
Right, okay.
Is there is there a game like it? Like, in order to just get a sense of what the
Divinity Original Sin would be the closest thing I've played
in terms of combat,
same
like
studio.
Yeah, in terms of combat, and yeah, they did make it. Yeah,
I wish there was a demo for this game, because like,
yeah, so do I.
I just can't grasp everything people are saying. It's like I just can't grasp it, but I want to know what it's like.
Well, the game is multiplayer, so
yeah. Well, I'm like, because it's another question I would have was like a game like that where there's like so much options in it. How well are the controls mapped? Because the controller itself is quite limited to the amount of things you can do. So is that like, do you ever find yourself? Is it intuitive, or do you find yourself kind of going, shit, where was that button again?
No, I would. I at first, yes, because it's very different to what I would be used to a lot of games. But once you kind of get used to it, you didn't realize. Like, if you want to get into your actions, like attack or jump or shove or cast a spell, you press R1 and then you cycle through the many different wheels that you would have for all the different stuff. So that's how it's done. And then you use the fucking, not the D-pad, the steering wheel.
Thumbstick.
Thank you, thumbstick. To choose which one, then press X. So
yeah, because like I wouldn't be sure on whether or not, I don't know if I would want to play on console myself. So I would love a demo. Just to see if the fucking thing can work.
Maybe we just need to drop up and have a go on Eric's and like just.
I think it's only.
But that still doesn't help me with my purchase decision.
Well, it'd be the same as a demo. I'm saying, like, pick a section and play.
No, I want to know if it works on my machine. I don't know if I would want to play it on console.
Oh, sorry, I understand now. You wish there was a demo for Mac.
Yeah, just so I can test it and say okay, no, this will run. Like, it says it'll run, but it's like, okay, but what the hell does that mean?
Sure.
Right. Yeah. Is it running but on the lowest?
It's like, it says the iPhone 15 Pro will run it, but like, what does that actually mean?
Yeah.
Topic for another day.
Because even like with some Xbox games, right? You can actually plug mouse and keyboard into the Xbox. So something like Age of Empires, which it's great that that's on the Xbox, but honest to fuck, like, that's kind of playing with a controller is not ideal.
No. Right.
It's an okay experience, like it works, but you want a mouse for that kind of game. But you can plug a mouse into the Xbox, so that setup is possible. But Baldur's Gate is not.
It is coming to Xbox
eventually.
So you know. They did say it's coming to Xbox. They just have to finalize when the date would be and stuff. But
yeah,
so I suspect...
I feel like that S is really fucking holding shit back. I think that S is really fucking up things for developers.
Maybe. Yeah, because it has to run on that too. Yeah, possibly. Eric, before we finish out this week's episode, and obviously as you play more, you'll probably have more to say on Baldur's Gate 3 going forward. But from what you've played so far, and based on the impressions others have given now that you've actually played it for yourself and you can kind of see where people are coming from, Like, do you think that this will be in the Game of the Year conversation at the end of the year, or is it like it's still kind of up in the air? You know, it's hard to tell whether it will be or not.
If I actually think it'd be very surprising if it's not in the conversation for Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just so because, again, when the game was released, and I know I don't really like the phrasing people were having, but when they were saying that devs should be scared of this game, I don't really like that phrasing.
Yeah.
But it is that element of this is such a
big contender,
well-made game.
Yeah, like it's raised the bar.
Yeah, it's raised the bar massively. Obviously, again, the game is not based on the gameplay style. Mm-hmm. It's not for everyone. If you're that big Call of Duty shooter kind of person, this game is not for you. But just on everything that has been put into this game for a studio that's not, they're a good studio and they have a name, but they're not quite as AAA as some other ones. They've set the bar so fucking high.
Wow.
For RPG games.
Just as a fun little mini game as we finish up, right?
Well, that's what I was going to add to it, yeah.
If there was to be 5, because I think it's usually 5, if there was to be 5 contenders for the Game of the Year, what do we think they would be?
Well, firstly, I want to ask, is this the best game you've played this year?
Can I come back to that one when I played more of the game? Just because, at the moment, I'm in early days, and the game I end up dropping off later, so.
Yeah, sure. So, can we all just have a little guess? No, that's a fair answer. That's a fair answer, I think. You know? It's like, I'm way too early into Starfield to judge that. Like, I get that. I get what you're saying. Like, you know, it's a big game. 5 games. Right, whether we've played them or not, even just based on conversation or what that you think that you could see being the 5 listed in the Game of the Year category, right? And this isn't like we're gonna hold this against you. Oh, you were so wrong.
I have to try to remember what came out now.
For fun, Eric, what do you think?
Okay, so Resi 4 remake,
boom.
Hogwarts Legacy,
interesting.
Baldurs Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
Spider-Man 2.
Okay. Adam, what do you think?
I'm trying to think of 5 games. Sorry.
Sure. Will I come back to you?
Yeah.
Right. I think Baldur's Gate 3. I think Tears of the Kingdom. I think Resident Evil 4 Remake. I think Spider-Man 2. And I'm really not sure on the 5th one, but I'm going to go with, at the moment,
Bone Party.
No. Jesus, no. I'm going to go with Diablo 4.
For me, a definite is Baldur's Gate 3. That'll definitely be in there.
Yeah, I think it's just so fucking highly, it's so crazy.
Probably Resident Evil 4. Honestly, Spider-Man 2. Those are the only 3 where I think, as a definite, I really don't know what else can go in there, because it's like...
You don't think Tears of the Kingdom will definitely be in that category?
I don't know. I really don't know. Like, Tears of the Kingdom is good. Like, it is good, but it's very much the same... You know,
but just based on what other people were saying about it,
I don't know. I'd probably put Dead Space in there before that, but
I know you personally would. I just mean what the industry is saying about it, though. Like, I mean, I don't fucking know what Diablo 4 is like. I just know it got fucking 9s and 10s out of 10, across the board from people. So I was like, maybe that, or maybe Final Fantasy 16, but I don't know.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
Though. It'll be so interesting to see. I can't wait till we get to that point where
I don't think it deserves to be in there, to be honest.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I think it should probably win a category, but I don't think it deserves to be in Game of the Year.
Best sandbox game.
That's so funny, because I actually think that the only 2 that I feel 100% definite on will be there is Baldur's Gate 3 and Tears of the Kingdom. Wow. And I ultimately think it's going to come down to those 2. In the same way as last year, it was so is it Ragnarok or is it Elden Ring? I actually think it's going to be those 2. that people are like, it's definitely this. No, it's definitely that, you know. And that the rest of them are like, you know, there's obviously going to be your Spider-Man 2 fans going, yeah, but the fucking story in Spider-Man 2 was the best of the year, you know. They're going to be like pushing for that. But
J.K. Simmons is in Baldur's Gate 3. I'm just putting it out there.
And he's not in Spider-Man? What the fuck? I think that's wrong.
I think
that's incorrect.
I think it probably will be Baldur's Gate 3. I think that will win Game of the Year.
Probably. Be fun to see. Guys, let us know what you think. Are you playing Baldur's Gate 3? What are your thoughts on it? And also, just to shout out, just as we finish up, Mortal Kombat 1 is out. The new era of Mortal Kombat has begun. Are you playing that too? If you are you enjoying it? And who's the best fighter in the game that you're playing with? Who's your main? Let us know. Who do you like to cameo with? That'll be all for this week's episode. So if you guys have been watching this YouTube, make sure to jump down into the comments. Share your own thoughts. Share your own experiences. What do you think of the showcases? What are you playing? All that stuff. If you enjoyed this discussion, give us a thumbs up. Hit subscribe and ring that notification bell for all future content. And to those of you who are listeners on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twixter at The Brothers Take. Again, to give your take on everything that we brought up in this week's episode 2023, the gaming year that keeps on fucking giving. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll be back to talk to you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.